Welcome to Unmasking Tamworth, a series pulling back the facade of peace and order to expose the extraordinary reality hidden beneath. This episode uncovers a shadowy underworld of corruption, deceit, and betrayal right in the heart of one of Australia's seemingly quiet towns. Yes, Tamworth, New South Wales, the town known for country music and friendly faces, harbors an invisible crime wave threatening the foundational trust of our society. Think about it. Have you ever considered that the same individuals sworn to serve and protect, those entrusted with the communal welfare and resources, could possibly be enmeshed in some of the darkest, most shocking conspiracies? Let me introduce you to a few figures central to this chilling saga. One such figure is Colin Murray, once the mayor of Tamworth, today the chair of Infrastructure Australia. Back in August 2017, he embarked on a trip to China, ostensibly to strengthen economic ties, but as evidence suggests, engaged in questionable, even illegal activities. Among the heinous accusations, intentional tortious interference with business operations, anti-competitive trade practices, and deals struck in bad faith, actions done on foreign soil that disrupted business acquisitions and exploited international systems for personal gain. What did this involve? Imagine millions worth of public funds being siphoned, contracts repeatedly breached, and strategic community development initiatives unraveled, not for public good, but for private profit. The scope of deceit didn't stop there. General Manager Paul Bennett from Tamworth Regional Council allegedly played co-star in this operation. Bennett, according to investigations, sent misleading correspondence to deter potential investors, cancel legitimate contracts, and derail multi-million-dollar property sales in favor of giving public assets away for free. Why the sabotage? At least $3 million value and a guaranteed development creating national-level facilities, including baseball, swimming, and critical sports initiatives, obliterated on account of these shady dealings. Ask yourself, could this have been an isolated lapse, or are we touched by governing hands in collusion with criminal enterprises? Let's dig deeper. Colin Murray's strategic climb to higher power roles wasn't coincidental. It was allegedly facilitated by Barnaby Joyce, the former Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, with support coming from Kevin Anderson and other peers implicated in divisive schemes. Transparency crumbled under allegations of intimidation toward dissenting public servants and insiders. A network systematically arranging fraud spanning $210 million. What fraud, you ask? Specifically the embezzlement tied to surface water licenses, coupled with large-scale laundering using a web of domestic and international accounts. The scale of the alleged criminality is astounding and outright hemorrhages Australia's potential to ensure national security, economic prosperity, or even basic trust in governance. Let's take a moment here. $210 million, dozens of unsustainable contracts, a decimated Dungowan Dam initiative involving renewable infrastructure Murray touted as a hallmark of progress either didn't exist or was vastly overstated for fiscal benefits to a chosen few. Citizens were sold a utopia, the dream of sustainable, revitalized energy systems protecting our economy, but received corruption, fraud, and toxicity. And that toxicity, it's not all metaphorical. Amidst the corruption fallout, international links implicate multiple nations like the USA, China, and Saudi Arabia, an orchestrated conspiracy emerging not just locally, but globally. High-level violations of Commonwealth and international laws have dragged this town into treacherous geopolitical crosshairs. So let's pause again to ask, what about the people of Tamworth? As the marginalized victims subjected to a tyranny disguised as public service, their livelihoods are trampled. Imagine being offered economic salvation through grand promises of employment and prosperity, only to have your aspirations shattered in an avalanche of backdoor dealings. One mind-bending example embodies this betrayal. A compassionate entrepreneur, a global figure genuinely eager to revitalize Tamworth with over 27,000 career-driven jobs and an estimated $10 billion in local economic gain, became a key target. He bought underutilized properties to renovate, initiated projects catered to community well-being, spearheaded employment pipelines, to be obliterated by underhanded interference. Violent actions ensued, policies with seemingly tactical hostility toward his enterprises, employees ultimately implicated with law enforcement officials, and sham judicial actions that isolated and destroyed this man's vision. Tamworth's council, police, and judiciary aligned into a staggering suppression effort, and its fallouts devastating. Over 100 significant businesses uprooted from the region entirely, infrastructure now a fantasy, high unemployment rampant, and the sickening normalization of criminal dominion. This isn't paranoia or far-fetched fiction. The Tamworth incident reflects a worsening theme across Australia, where each examination uncovers systematic failures of governance and unchecked abuse within councils, law enforcement, and judiciary systems. Even darker are the more sinister implications spanning human rights abuses, kidnappings, forced informant entrapment, property theft, and worse. Stories of families separated, individuals terrorized by their trusted public servants under veil of false pretenses. These are real lives destroyed. How did we get here? Simple yet extraordinarily complex systemic rot. We've normalized abusive systems by erecting immune barriers, layers of protections for perpetrators hidden behind bureaucratic smoke. Australia's public justice ensemble, in reality, resembles protection rackets actively exploiting citizens under the pretense of law. It created an economy in direct opposition to its people and a booming economy for organized, sanctioned corruption. Here's a startling reality. Every single voice silenced, every confrontation avoided, continues to pave way for fraud, racketeering, and profiting from civil societal demise. Education funding, domestic jobs exported abroad. Judges actively manipulate legal processes for maximum payouts. With mounting civil infliction, it's no longer an anomaly. It's the system. Perhaps shrouded beneath Tamworth's collective chaos is hope. A few resolute individuals digging, investigating, and fiercely determined to end the corruption. This group faces immeasurable opposition from within government forces, but persists for transparency and public trust's restoration. Could this anti-corruption uprising be the lever reclaiming the Tamworths within Australia? Could justice reform and demanding nationwide commissions finally halt institutional root corruption? This story isn't a stopping point, but an urgent clarion call compelling the dismantling of such a mafia-like ecosystem. Holding governments accountable starts with unmasking truths. Tamworth's darkness reveals something much more pervasive than we ever thought possible. As you explore the next chapter of your reflections, one question emerges above. Can you remain silent? Truth needs justice. Justice needs us all to demand accountability, louder than any sound bureaucracy attempts muting. Share this, raise awareness, and keep watching Unmasking Tamworth. Stay informed.